Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Wednesday, June 17th. Let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps. We're up 1% this morning now, which is rather positive. I mean, there's a slight rebound going on in the semiconductor stocks following yesterday's weakness. Key focus really today is going to be in that Fed policy announcement and Kevin Warsh's company's press conference. That's going to be the key event of the day. No change in rates is anticipated, but the Fed is widely expected to, maintain a hawkish bias on interest rates due to the persistent inflation period that we're under. But President Trump came out around 7:30, and he warned that the U.S.-Iranian peace deal could be signed this week. That deal could still fall apart. That's causing a little nervousness in the oil market right now. In corporate news, President Trump invoked the Defense Production Act. I mean, this is a Cold War act. He wants to accelerate domestic munitions production. It could benefit the defense contractors and military suppliers this morning, something to keep an eye on. Microsoft considering integrating DeepSeek technology into its Copilot platform. What else we got? Yum Brands, they announced a new $4 billion share repurchasing program, while AutoZone, their board authorized a $1.5 billion shares buyback program. Corporate calendar, we got shareholders meetings going on from Autodesk, CrowdStrike, eBay, Viva Systems. On the earnings front, we're seeing gains in CarMax and La-Z-Boy after their earnings results. And, looking ahead, we got Accenture, we got Kroger, both scheduled to report tomorrow morning. That could be something. Okay, let's take a look at the global markets. And the DAX is now down 0.221% or 53 points. I mean, it was down early morning, then it rebounded, and it was trading higher, and now it's lower after Trump's comments. We're seeing weakness in the auto sector, mainly due to BMW's forecast, but the DAX is lower by more than 0.2% this morning. The FTSE also went from green to red. It's now down 8 points or 0.8%. Energy stocks really were leading the declines, but the key action here is the Bank of England. They got a policy meeting tomorrow, so they're going to be making a policy decision tomorrow, and that's something that's keeping a lid on the FTSE right now. And the CAC in Paris, it's really leading the European markets. It's up 0.1%. Which is positive. It was up twice that, but luxury goods, tech stocks are higher. This morning, that's what we're seeing in Europe. And then we look over at Asia last night. Asia was, mostly green. We look at the Nikkei, it jumped 497 points or 0.72%. It was really supported by strong trade data. Exports rose 17% year over year, driven by robust demands for automobiles and semiconductors. Hong Kong, the Hang Seng, finished lower by 181 points, or 0.74%. They're cautious ahead of this Chinese forum that's going on and the Fed's policy meeting. It's also happening today. But in China, the Shanghai finished up 0.4%, with tech stocks moving higher. Their vice premier indicated that new anti-sanction measures may soon be introduced to counteract foreign trade restrictions and support the economic resilience of China's markets. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now we're turning to oil. Now oil was flat all morning long. It was, ebbing between gains and losses, but now it's higher. We got WTI trading at $76.55, up 0.66%. We got Brent trading $79.47, up 0.65%. The API data last night showed a decline of 8.33 million barrels for last week. That's a big drop. It's a forecast. Later today, we get the official numbers coming out. But the IEA, they came out and they now expect global oil demand to decline by 1.1 million barrels per day this year. That's a steeper drop than its previous forecast of a decline of 420,000 barrels per day. So, that doesn't look good for oil prices, but oil is trading higher. It is in the green this morning. Now we're turning it over to earnings action, and we're going to start off with CarMax. That's ticker KMX, Kilo Michael X-Ray. Stock's now trading lower. It's down 1.46%. They beat by 37 cents. They did it on higher revenue. We look at La-Z-Boy, ticker LZB. That stock's up 16.37%. They beat by 44 cents on higher revenue. It was a good report. After tomorrow morning, We got Accenture, ticker ACN. Their EPS is $3.71. Expected move is 7.31%. We got Kroger, ticker KR, Kilo Richard. Their EPS is $1.46 with an expected move of 5.25% when they release. Okay, in terms of the economic data, I mean, we got retail sales report coming out at 8:30, 10:30. We got the oil inventories from the EIA. Then, of course, at 2 o'clock, we get the FOMC policy statement coming out, and that's going to be followed by Fed speak from Kevin Warsh in his first press conference as chairman, which is going to start at 2:30, and all eyes are going to be on that. Okay, now we're moving over to the FANG stocks news that's going on. Amazon. Microsoft is looking to AWS for help with GitHub's capacity issues. Google Cloud, announced a multi-year pack to deploy AI capabilities. Meta, their chief tech officer, described the recent reorg as atrocious, not good. Netflix, they denied any takeover attempt of Lionsgate, sending Lionsgate shares lower this morning. In terms of Dow Jones 30 stocks, Microsoft said to be considering DeepSeek for Copilot co-work. Walmart, they're going to be participating today in the Jefferies conference. NVIDIA, Microsoft's are questioning. Markets are kind of questioning NVIDIA's recent debt issuances, and they're looking at the spending, the AI spending hardware component. In terms of merger news, Diana Shipping raised its offer to acquire Genco Shipping to $27.34 a share. In terms of guidance news, J-Bill raises their full year 2026 core EPS view to $12.70, which was $12.25. Street estimate is $12.39, so that's a nice uptick. Lazy Boy sees Q1 revenue coming in $490 million to $510 million. Street estimates $495 million. That's still positive. I like that. Corporate calendar today, shareholders meetings, Autodesk, CrowdStrike, eBay, Viva Systems. In terms of buyback news, AutoZone, $1.5 billion share repurchasing plan. Yum Brands approved a new $4 billion share repurchasing plan. Catalyst calls, we got RTX. Citibank opens up a 30-day positive catalyst watch on RTX going into earnings. Okay, let's move on to our pick of the day today. I'm going to go with Humana, ticker HUM, Henry Uncle Michael. They got awarded Illinois Health Choice Medicare contract this morning was announced. I think that could show some positive effect. Now, yesterday, volume wasn't great. The call volume wasn't great. 1,100 calls versus 1,300 puts. That's a 1.2 put-to-call ratio. But open interest still remains positive, 63K to 59K. And the brokers really liked it. They're raising price targets on Humana left and right. I'm hoping to get in at a 366 on the bid, which is where it's bid right now. I'm hoping to get in that range, and I think it could pull higher later in the day. But that's my pick of the day, Humana, ticker HUM. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the hot news hitting the tape over the last 15, 20 minutes. What do we got? AEHR Air Test Systems up 9% after disclosing order from Photonics customer. BOXL Boxlight announced a 1-for-6 reverse stock split. Moody's MCO launches AI skills for major AI platforms. Coinbase announces a bunch of new products. Its stocks trading lower. Pins announced AI-powered tools. Everybody's announcing AI-powered tools. It doesn't really mean anything to me. Figma, ticker Fig, up 4% this morning. We got some highlights from a major broker this morning. OCUL is holding an Investors Day today at 2 p.m. President Trump invoking the Cold War era law to boost munitions production could be positive for, things like Lockheed Martin, and other defense contractors. Smith Wesson, SWBI, they're releasing earnings after the bell. Put call ratio is 0.28. Expected move is $1.70. UK regulators set out new rules on Google search to boost competition. Oracle says Tuesday's detail of report of the collapse of its discussions with Microsoft over a potential leasing deal were inaccurate. That's all I'm seeing this morning. Now I'm going to go back to our stock of the day from yesterday, which was the J-bill, ticker JBL. It wasn't horrible. I mean, the fact of the matter is, stock opened up at 387.81, and then it ran to 389.95, and then it fell. Like with all the tech stocks, it just fell. And I was really worried about that. I mean, I said 384 as an entry point, but if there was real weakness, I'd say 381. Well, it fell down to 374. But this morning, before the earnings, the stock hit 392. So even if you got the opening price or my suggested entry price, the 1% was there. So that's positive. All right, traders, that concludes today's NewsWare's Trade Talk podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.